Hey everyone, I'm Michael and welcome to another video. It's been a while and I have to apologize for that because we actually lost internet access for like the past week or so and we just got it back yesterday. And I'll tell you right now, the internet we have now is amazing, like way better than it was. I had gigabit download if I was lucky on the old internet and then 30 megabit upload, and now it's gigabit in both directions. That's the power of fiber! Anyway, that's not what this video is about. This video is about Socially Distant, and I want to show you guys the Unity port that we are working on. And I say we because we are building a team, and it's a lot of fun setting up a team to develop a game because it gets to teach you things like using collaborative tools, and in our case, it taught me how to use Nextcloud, which is really interesting. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but I want to show you guys what we're working on so far and what I've gotten done in terms of programming. Now, the big story here is that Thundershock engine was this game engine that I started working on over the summer, and I started working on Socially Distant on top of it as its sort of demo game. And it worked pretty well while it still worked. But the problem is that Thundershock became one of my infamous projects that, just broke. And I just did not have the motivation or energy to fix it. And then this other thing happens, this thing called Restitched happens, and I become a developer of Restitched, and then I start using Unity because that's the game engine it's written in, and I start falling in love with Unity, which makes me want to work on Thundershock even less. And so I ultimately made the decision, because I feel like it's best for the project, to move the game over to Unity. It's still C#, so much of the code doesn't need to be rewritten, it just needs to be adapted. But I am choosing to rewrite the code. That's because I want to better optimize it for Unity. There are some oddities with Thundershock that just are not the case in Unity, so there's no point working around them. So maybe I'll do a video in the future explaining the actual architecture of the game. Now, just a heads up, this is closed source, and that's not because I'm evil and don't want you guys to be able to see my code. It's closed source because of game assets. Just because the code is okay to release and there's no NDA or anything like that, like there is with Restitched. I can't release Restitched code, but I can definitely release Socially Distant code. Game assets are not the same. Generally, when you buy an asset pack, it comes with a license, and you're the only person allowed to use it. Whether that be you as in a person, or you as in the game studio, or whatever is developing the game. Generally, those licenses are not compatible with open source. So that is why Socially Distant is not open source. We're held back by that. But that might change in the future if we have our own audio engineer. Likely not going to happen for a very long time, but just keep that in mind. Anyway, what I'm going to show you guys is the shell system in its current state. So we're going to play the level. And it's going to take a little bit to initialize because it's a developer build, but as you can see, this is about how it would have looked in, I'd say, about April or May when it was still called Red Team. So it's a full screen shell. You've got your user, your local host, and you've got your directory. And if I do neofetch, we actually get neofetch. Now, the pandemic is cyan instead of red. That's a bug, but actually I'm going to keep that bug because I think it looks better being cyan. But as you can see, neofetch gives you a lot of information. It gives you the username and host name of your in-game device. It gives you the game version. It gives you your system information for debugging, as well as the Unity version even. It gives you some skinning information because that's something neofetch does in real life. It gives you your theme info. Gives you some more system diagnostic information, your CPU, your graphics card, your frame rate, your display mode, all that stuff, and your RAM usage. So it's, pretty good, and it gives you a color palette, which is awesome. So that's neofetch, and it works a lot better, actually. Now, ignore this little curly brace line curly brace thingy. That is actually because I've just implemented usernames and host names partially, like, 5 minutes ago. Yeah. So that is supposed to display a dashed line that is the same length as the username and and host name, and since that was only implemented 5 minutes ago, the game never knew how long that line should be. So I have to add that code, but I will, just not right now. Anyway, other commands are inside help, so we've got quite a bit so far that have been ported over. Of course, we have clear, which clears the screen. We have echo, we have help. Echo and help are self-explanatory. Local data, that opens your local data folder. So this is where save data is going to go. So there's your local data folder. It's very empty right now, but it won't be in the future. It's just really empty right now, that's all. Anyway, local data, that's that. Neofet, we just saw that. And cowsay is, you know, cowsay. Beef is good. Anyway, that's what cowsay says. Anyway, fortune. I'm going to avoid running because there's not a lot of fortunes in here, and one of them is like a meme, a vine sauce meme that's very much inappropriate. So there's a slight chance that that might come up. Actually, you know what? Screw it, I'm gonna run it. That's the meme. That is exactly what I didn't want to come up, but it's not supposed to say that all the time. In fact, that's temporary. That was... I could have added literally anything, honestly, but I didn't. But yeah, if you keep running fortune, you get random fortune cookie messages, including one that you might recognize from a certain other game that recently got its Steam store page published. Moving on! So that's fortune, pretty simple. So that's all the commands that are implemented. So far what's missing is the file system. That needs to be implemented. So cd, mkdir, ls, all that, those commands don't exist. Users, there's no root user yet. It's kind of just a hard-coded string. There is a save system in the game, but it's not currently used. I have to work on it. It does have a facility for collecting pretty much the entire game's state as long as you tell it to. But it doesn't run yet. There's no save manager just yet. So we're working on that. That'll come soon. Piping is not implemented. I just wrote the code to facilitate piping. I just have to rewrite I have to refactor the shell system a little bit to support it, but there's the foundation for piping and redirecting and all that stuff, but I'm not going to get that done until file system is implemented, because redirecting allows you to redirect files in and out from the file system into and out of the console. So yeah, that's something you can do. Those are some pretty important features to have in this type of hacking game, so I have to get those done relatively soon, and they're next. And of course, NPCs are missing. The networking simulation is missing, so that's stuff that needs to be ported over and possibly rewritten. But yeah, so far we have a shell system. The game's existed for about a week, so that's pretty freaking good. It took us about a week to get this far in Red Team as well, and we had to write our own game engine on top of that, so that's good to know. Anyway, yeah, so that's the shell system. Some things that are kind of cool, though, that I won't really go over, but I will talk about, is that the skinning system is no longer as tightly integrated into the game as it used to be. It used to be that you had to have a skin, but now you don't. Now it's a little more lenient. And in fact, it's a lot easier to work with the skinning system, because it's actually designed to be used in the Unity editor, as well as in-game. It uses scriptable objects for the in-editor skins, so the default skins. Well, I'll actually show you guys that. If we go to Assets, inside the Assets folder, and we go to Customization Palettes, we can see the default shell palette, and this might look familiar. This is the inspector for it. If we run neofetch, you're going to see the exact same colors as you see in the inspector. And in fact, I can tweak them. So if I wanted, for example, black to be you know, white. I don't know why you would do that, but you can. And I wanted, I'm gonna change gray to be a lot darker. That's only because gray is used for the text and it needs to be, you know, visible. But let's just drag this down to about here. And maybe drag dark gray up a lot to about where gray used to be. The reason for that is dark gray is generally designed to be the darker gray, but since we're a light theme, that kind of inverts it. And then we want to, of course, take white and make it black, which will end up making a light theme. And of course, it's not going to update straight away because it needs to rebuild the text data, but if I clear the screen, or actually if I restart the game, you will see that it is light. So actually I was wrong about it needing to clear the text data and rebuild it. It's not the case. It actually had to go ahead and restart the game because of the way the skinning system works right now, but that's obviously not going to be a problem when it's fully finished and there's a GUI to set those values. But anyway, we have a light theme now. It's not a great light theme, but it's a light theme. It's not very readable. Not readable at all. Cyan is very much not the right color for that. So maybe I would use something like blue, but you can see the NeoFetch palette there. Anyone who uses, unironically, a light terminal theme is just insane anyway, so I don't really care. But yeah, you can see how easy that is to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and check that out at Git, because that was dumb. So git status, and then after I do this, I will end the video. Actually, that's not good. Why did it not? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and check this out. So what was it that we did there? I wonder why Ubuntu Mono did that. That was weird. We'll check out this, and then it'll fix itself. Quality video or video work, Michael. Anyway, there we go. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Just a quick little development update on Socially Distant and how it's all working. You can see NeoFetch code right there, by the way. And yeah, so going forward, this is gonna be a Unity game. Thundershock is dead. It's not dead in the sense that I've deleted it. It's still very much on GitHub, but it is archived, and we're not going to work on it anymore. I want it to be there as a learning tool, so you can look at the code, see how it works, and see why you should write your own game engine as a college student, just for the simple idea of using it to develop a massive game like Socially Distant. Anyway, I'm very tired. It's very late at night, sorry. I'm gonna go get myself something to drink, and I will see you guys in the next video. The next video I do on Little Big Planet, by the way, will be one on LBP2 versus LBP3 create mode, and the differences between them, and why levels in LBP3, or why Little Big Planet 2 levels break in Little Big Planet 3 when you play them in community levels, especially even more on PS4 and PS5. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. As always, I've been Michael. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the video. Join the Discord, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.